Everyone, welcome to today's case study. We're so excited to have Tyler here with us to share his journey. And for those of you who don't know, Tyler has been working with us for 3 months and has seen some pretty insane results so far with his Amazon business. And before we dive in, I'll just introduce myself real quick. My name is Dan Buford. I'm the founder of ECG Wholesale, and I've been able to build an 8-figure Amazon business over the past 6 years. And also joining me today is my right-hand man and co-founder of ECG, Jack Poulin. Jack's been helping our clients more in the trenches day to day, helping them implement our brand direct blueprint and take their business to a whole new level. I'll just from here kick it off into the interview, and it should be fun. Tyler, let's start with a quick intro for everyone watching. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, where your business was before you started working with us, and a little bit about your Amazon journey so far.
Yeah, for sure. So first off, thanks for having me on. It's all new to me, but yeah, glad to be here. So my name's Tyler. I started out a lot like a bunch of OA guys coming from like the sneaker background. So was working my corporate job as well as pumping OA, RA and stuff there. But then about 6 months in, I went through like my first Q4 and saw some pretty good success there. So just decided to go all in. Over the past couple years, just the difficulties with OA and stuff that is currently being pushed out, like I just had really thought it was time to make a change and, like you say all the time, treat it like an actual business and kind of build out the wholesale side, brand direct side to build those connections to see a more sustainable long-term play here.
Smart man.
Definitely. And to give everyone some context, what kind of challenges were you facing before joining us? Was it sourcing, was it scaling, was it profit margins, or was it something else? What were you struggling with the most before joining ECG?
So a little bit of, like I mentioned a minute ago, like the mental behind it, and then also the scalability. Like profit margins and stuff with OA is pretty nice, but at the end of the day, a lot of times you're not getting the quantities that you want. There's not a great supply chain. Yeah, you're getting it from an actual reputable retailer or whatever it may be. So just dealing with that, and then just knowing at the end of the day, it's not going to be super scalable to where down the road I can be doing 10, 15, 20 million a year, hopefully.
Awesome. Makes sense. And so far, you're about 3 months in with us. You've had some pretty incredible results. Can you share what those results have been, whether it's revenue growth or new accounts that seem promising or purchase orders you've done already? Take us through some of the success you've had thus far.
Yeah, for sure. Currently just going through, with the help of you guys, opening up new accounts and trying to go the brand direct route. So have opened up some accounts with a couple of brands, already placed some POs and
Nice.
Actually got those touching down, and going the distribution route as well, but just trying to vet those distributors, making sure they're authorized, but definitely trying to put a focus on the brand direct and open up as many accounts as possible and build those connections. And here lately, as far as purchase order goes, it's been slower. Like I haven't placed no massive PO yet, but that's one thing that I'm figuring out as well. A lot of these smaller wins add up to where there's going to be like a really big play down the road.
Exactly. You don't need home runs. You just need a bunch of base hits added together, and it adds up to a home run.
Yep, for sure.
Well said. And Tyler, right now, how many brands are you like currently actively working with out of kind of all these brands you've reached out to?
So right now I'd say probably 4 or 5 different brands, but then also have some distribution opportunities that I am working with. But of course, just trying to build that out, like I said, and which is nice. Actually, I'm onboarding a VA now to help with that process.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful.
Yeah, working on the back end, but that's awesome. So in the first 3 months, you've been able to secure more than 5 accounts, but 5 accounts you're currently purchasing through. I think that's the key point there, because you could open whatever, anyone can open 50 accounts really. It's just really comes down to how much you can purchase through and how much ROI you can actually get back on those.
Yep, for sure. And that's one thing. Of course, there's going to be the accounts that you open up, and not all of them is going to be profitable or make sense, but you're definitely going to have the ones that do.
Yeah, it makes sense. So have you done basically your initial purchase order with these 5 brands? Are there any brands you've reordered from already, or are you still testing the waters with your initial POs?
So initial PO right now, yeah, haven't done any reorders, but I got a couple of the POs that are landing, one that's already landed, so going to get those sent in and see how well it goes. A couple of the brands, I took maybe a less favorable SKU to get my foot in the door, but
Sure.
Like I mentioned a minute ago, like hopefully it's going to lead to one of those home runs by just showing them that I'm here to mean business and actually want to make a connection with them.
Yeah, it's all about relationship building, so that was smart. Sometimes you just get an order just to show, hey, I'm going to spend money with you guys. Breaking the ice, that first order is really important.
Yep.
Awesome. And then next, I'm really curious about your goals coming into 2025. If you have any set, what are your goals looking like? What's on tap for this year?
Whenever I first joined the group, I know I'd mentioned it. So right now, of course, I'm doing OA, and then I'm working with you guys to build out the wholesale and brand direct, but also looking to launch a white label product with another guy I'm working with. So wearing a lot of hats right now, but the biggest goal is to phase out OA entirely, probably within the next 3 to 6 months would be really ideal.
But got it. And right now, if you don't mind sharing, what would that revenue goal be the next 3 to 6 months? Where would you like to take wholesale to a revenue standpoint?
From a revenue standpoint, just like specifically with wholesale or with all three?
Yeah. And with wholesale specifically, as you're ramping down OA, you want to replace it with wholesale. Where do you foresee wholesale being?
I would like to have wholesale being a good chunk of the business. Like, I would love for it to be a couple 100,000 to $1 million by the end of the year.
Awesome. Love it. And the next thing I have is, if you were to give one piece of advice to someone who might be in the same position as you before joining ECG, currently doing arbitrage, currently trying to ramp up further into wholesale, what would you say to someone that's on the fence about taking the next step into joining?
I would say definitely do it, for one, because of just some success that I have already seen with the potential ROI and profit margins with some of these brand directs. And then just also having the confidence to come in and know that it's going to be a long-term game. It's not something you can come in and just pick up a phone, call some guys, and immediately get some profitable accounts. Like, it's going to take time, but at the end of the day, that's the reason why I would say it's probably the more long-term solution. Not everybody's going to stick it out in the long run and be willing to put in the reps whenever it gets hard.
Yep, wise words for sure. And if someone is watching this and considering working with us and joining the program, what would you say was the most valuable part of it? Was it like the systems, the support, anything else, anything that stands out to you is what gave you the most value in joining?
Yeah, it's funny. So I was actually talking to a buddy of mine the other day about this, and there was a couple of things whenever I joined ECG that really stood out to me compared to maybe some of the other groups that I was talking to. And for one, it seemed a little bit more hands-on. So I was coming into wholesale, brand direct, like basically rebranding my whole business, trying to go that route, and really seemed more hands-on, and being able to potentially have some distribution opportunities with you guys right out the gate is a good option, because you guys provide legit supply chain that gives you that rest easy at night feeling. And then also with OA, this whole time I've just been doing it myself. I hadn't outsourced to a prep center, no VAs, so that was like the second thing onboarding with you guys. Jack having the VA agency and helping out with that aspect to just further along the growth. And then also the community aspect, like I try to hop into all the calls that I possibly can, ask as many questions and blow up the group chats, whatever it may be, but like the response time is super quick. You and Jack are always willing to help out, and just a lot of good opportunities I feel like in the future that ECG can present, whether that's like meetups, just like getting together with the community, or even bigger distribution opportunities, or whatever you guys have in the works for us.
Yeah, for sure. We actually landed a potentially game-changing Holy Grail account where we can really feed the group a lot of good wholesale deals, so super excited about that. And yeah, we're continuing to build, as you said, with in-person events, more group calls, more distribution deals. We're just getting started here personally, and yeah, Jack does a phenomenal job of the hands-on with each and every student, which is awesome. We're trying to be like a one-stop shop for everything wholesale, like the website setup, VAs, the back-end business setup, the actual products you can buy, the entire software stack you need. So we're trying to encompass everything within our community, and we're getting there. We're getting pretty close, I think.
Blueprint.
Yeah, for sure. That's another thing I was going to mention there that I left out, the whole website build out. Even something like that, just taking it off your hands, because I'm coming in not knowing absolutely anything about it, but just having some help there. It's a lot of, like I said, hands-on, which is really nice, which I liked.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
So yeah, that's all we had for the interview. Thank you for watching, everybody. And if this story relates to what you may be going through in your business, or if this has piqued your interest in learning more about our community, then check out the link that's going to be posted below here, and we'd love to talk to you and see if we're a good fit. And thank you again, Tyler, for coming on here. And yeah, I have no doubt you're going to be hitting those 8-figure years that you mentioned in no time. So I'm looking forward to seeing your continued progress.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me on. And if anybody wants to reach out to me on social media, you can follow me on X or Twitter, whichever one you want to call it, at FBA_Tyler.
Yeah, everyone give him a follow because he's a rising star, and he'll probably eclipse me in a few more years. We'll see. We'll try and prevent
that's
that.
the goal. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate the time.
Yep. Thank you, both.